see.
I mean, damn near, well, 463 million sitting there. That's got to come down. 5. Like, look at this.
Yeah, there's some stuff there for sure.
Like up here, it's not a whole, like it's more than double down here than what it is up here. I think we could come tap that probably and then just, but I feel like it's gonna go down, then do its stupid entry points for me.
Right, okay, that should be good. Okay, gonna pop out for a quick toke, I think, here.
Sweet. So I think I'll do the same.
Okay, BRB.
Oh my god, that's so bad. I might have to buy a new. Jesus. Yeah, I might have. Holy. That's that weird smell. You might have to just buy a new AC. No, I'll keep this one and keep it going, but like, I gotta look into why that smells like that. Oh, I got my mic on.
Alright, optics on.
I got my mic on. Just
Mic's
there we
on.
go.
Mic's on. Your optics aren't on.
What?
The shades.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Gotta stick to the theme.
There
brother.
we go. See, that's what happens right after you take a hit.
I know. Gotta stick to the theme, brother.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, here, watch. I'll start watching the charts, man, and we will start tanking.
Well, I don't know. It looks like a little bull flag right now. See how it goes, though. See it in a bit.
I know, I might have to put a long in again. I keep fucking winning on them. Putting up ridiculous take profits. I think I put my take profit at like 63.8 or something yesterday, and it just hit it and then dropped all the way down. And I was like, wow, perfect. Now I'm going to make money on my short. And well, nope.
Yeah,
you saw that go down to 7% all the way to negative 55 now, and that's what happens when you look away for 3 hours.
Yeah. Sometimes I took a short this morning, and it was decent. I only hit one TP and then moved my stop to profit, so it was a win. But then I hopped into another one, and so far it's still in the red here. But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna get into the chart here. I think let's get the stream going.
Yeah, I'll let you run this here.
Yeah, I think everything's looking pretty good, sounding pretty good. A little audio check. Yeah, looks good, sounds good. Okay, let's get her going.
All right.
Hey, folks, and welcome back to Surely Sound Studio. My name is Martin, but you can call me Marty, and this is my show, so let's go. We got AK with us today. How's it going, bro?
Oh, pretty good.
Nice.
Good.
We're gonna get we took about 2 weeks off here and did some fun traveling, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit. I went out of country and checked out another country. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. Watched a little bit of soccer, watched a little bit of baseball. Took the family camping, and yeah, folks, is it over? Is the battle over? That is the question. Where is the thumbnail? Can I find it on here? Should have brought it up. But the red card, that's me. Let's see if I can find it. View my channel. Where is it in here? There it is. Is it going to show me the... Where is the thumbnail? No, it's not going to show me the thumbnail. It's going to show me the feed. Damn. All right. Well, we don't need that. Maybe it's in here. Let's go to here and go to here. There it is. The battle isn't over yet. Well, the what was it? The title is the pump real? Now, is the pump real? I mean, it is real, but we know that they don't want it to sustain, and so for one reason or another, well, first of all, let's just have a look at the liquidity heat map over the last week here. Loads of liquidity down here, which I'm quite surprised we didn't come get. So, yeah, if you think they're leaving hundreds of millions of dollars down here, and tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars down here, we might check again. You might want to check again, but we'll see. What's likely to happen is let's go to the weekly, because we are seeing signs of a bottom forming. Now, this is almost identical to the last few cycles, where we have broken the 200-week moving average, popped back up, and then popped back down. Broke the 200-week moving average, popped back up, popped back down. Well, I guess maybe haven't quite. Well, yeah, we popped back up, popped back down. But then, and also showing bullish divergence on the weekly, but then making one more drop that was basically news driven, media driven, not really so much price driven. And I just want to go back to the cycle in 2018, where we had a very similar thing happen where we made a bottom. This is kind of like as far as timeline where we were kind of in here in June, and then July was a bit of a pump. August came back, and then we ended up having an October, November, December capitulation. And so I think we still got a lot of time. Like it hasn't, October was the top, right? And we typically have a 1 year or maybe a little more of bear markets before we start to go back up again. And now this right here was your 2020 manipulation, and we couldn't even come back down here. But this is kind of what I think they're trying to do. Whether they pull it off or not, we will find out, because it's all about the individuals here, because we're starting to see decentralization take over centralization. That's the fight. The battle is centralization versus decentralization. And if you are a individual, a retail investor or trader, just somebody who's trying to get ahead in life, you're fighting for decentralization, because the reason that your life is getting harder every day is because of the centralized entities that control the monetary policy, printing your currency and devaluing it. So when you give one centralized entity control for anything, whether it's information, monetary issue, everybody going to one person for that thing is a red flag, because then nobody's fact checking, nobody's responsible, even though we have laws that are supposed to protect us, because of course, this has all happened before, folks. This has all happened before. And this is why we understand what is very likely to happen in the future, because the same thing repeats over and over and over again. And it's, for what reason, I'm not 100% sure, but you can blame it on human nature, you can blame it on greed, you can blame it on manipulation is one of the big ones, because they don't let you, they only give you a limited version of history if you listen to centralized entities. But now remember, folks, we have the entire collective knowledge of human beings in your pocket, so please use it to your advantage. Don't let that stuff just slide because it's easier to get information on Facebook because it's one click away. I encourage you to take it further than that and verify the information that you think you see or you think you know, one way or another. Find different means to find the outcome that you desire, because if you just go off of a headline or one click and you're like, oh, that's what it is, you're going to get burned every single time. That is literally the name of the game. The people who take the bait get hooked. And then guess what happens? You end up in the net, and then you end up getting processed and chewed right up. Okay, so do your research. Check if that bait has a hook that's barbed inside of it. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be skeptical. You gotta be on the defense, because whether you like it or not, it's not my opinion, there is a certain group of people that are manipulating the monetary policy to take advantage of everybody else. And simply by miscommunication, misinformation, and lack of education via the public schools. And that's why you have public schools and you have private schools, and you have private schools that are usually more entrepreneur oriented and they create business owners and leaders, and then you have public school who creates workers and industrial line type thinkers. Okay, and that's what you don't want. I went to public school and I hated it. It didn't work for me, obviously, because I'm not a follower. I'm not a sheep. I'm not into being herded.
Yeah, you can't do what you're basically just, hey, you're here, do this and shut up and don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Don't change it. Don't find a better way. Don't just shut up and do what you're told.
Yeah, this is the way. It's what it says in the books. No. But unfortunately, it sucks because it's so far removed. Most of the people that were giving us that information had that already happen to them. So they don't even really know what they're talking about. They just know. And it's funny too how many people think they're really smart because they've read a lot of books. And it's like, yeah, I know. That's awesome. That's great. I'm glad you put in the time. But do you realize who wrote all those books? Do you understand who owns those publishing companies that made those books say what they say? You have to.
Yeah, I know, right? Nobody ever questioned that. I always sat there. I was like, some asshole on the other end is just writing this and selling it and saying, teach this crap. They don't even, nobody, like, it's a
Well,
joke.
all that information that was published back then before we had the internet all had to be published by a publishing company. There was no like freedom, I'm going to publish my own book, right? I mean, you could, but all you'd have to do is print copies of it and try and give it out on the street. That was your best bet. Like, to get into a store or to get actually a publishing deal, you had to go through a company, and that company is a centralized entity that's controlled by Rockefeller Foundation, right? So they control everything, and they show you and allow you to see what they want for their benefit, not yours. Okay. And this is not my opinion. I just highly recommend you look into it for yourself, for your greater good and your children's greater good and their children's greater good and beyond that. But it's like, it's undeniable. It's the records are all there. You can go back. If you start to study Bitcoin, first of all, this will lead you into all this information. And that's kind of why I personally talk about Bitcoin more than anything. And I think the best thing to do is just start by looking and studying Bitcoin, because once you study Bitcoin, you understand, you start to figure it out. And you're like, well, why is this happening just now? Like, why haven't we been doing this for a lot longer with a digital asset or a physical asset, right? Like we got taken off of a physical asset so that they could print as much money as they want. Okay. So there's going to be circumstances for your actions, and we're finding that inflation is running rampant because they're printing money like insanity. It's crazy, right? So what's happening right now is the result of a bunch of money printing in 2020, 2021, but ultimately being taken off of a physical asset standard having nothing backing the money. So it just allows them to print it without having to have a reserve to match it 1-to-1. Before the gold standard was removed, the United States of America couldn't print more dollars than ounces of gold that they had. It was supposed to work 1-to-1.
That's why they had to get off. They needed to do what they wanted. There was a certain bunch of people who wanted money. Oh, we can't claim it all if we're legally obligated to actually have it backed by something.
Well, exactly right. No, it's the people that control the money wanted to manipulate it, but they couldn't manipulate it they couldn't manipulate it without a vast amount of work to achieve holding all that gold. So if you think about World War II and other certain events where a lot of gold was moved around, taken, whatever you want to call it, like, you have to understand that anytime they tell you they're going to do something and it has to do with like fighting and killing, it has nothing to do with what they're telling you. They're just trying to justify it to get you on their side so that you don't riot, because ultimately there's no reason for any of us to be killing each other. We all want the same thing, the clean water and food and shelter for our families. Like, that's all we want. And the people that are aggressively greedy and are trying to play these games on a global level, they are the ones that are, they need certain, when we have certain laws, they need to do certain actions to justify it to the public. Uncle Sam needs your help, right? That type of stuff. And you see it in the media all over the place, right? Weapons of mass destruction, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a bunch of things going on, but ultimately it's control of monetary policy was the reason that all of it was done. So gold, first of all, and then just control of monetary policy and central banking. Okay. Because modern slaves are in debt. They don't have chains. They're in debt. So you're not physically shackled.
It's still chains,
but you are shackled to their system. Right. So again, it's just, it all leads back to one thing, and it's really not that difficult once you go down the road and start doing your own research. But this is why we talk about Bitcoin on this show. This isn't exactly why I wanted to talk about today, but it is what it is, regardless of what I or you are. I think like it is what it is. So, but what we do want to look at is, what do we think Bitcoin is going to do, right? Because ultimately we are into waiting, kind of, I don't know. Well, we know we've been in the DCA range here. What do we got? Is this the daily? No. Is this the daily? This is the daily. So we've been in.
Yeah, we've been hitting green for 7 days in a row now.
Yeah,
It's hurting.
Understandably so, because we have bullish divergence here on the daily. So that's exactly very likely to happen. And we've come up and we've tested, and we're now testing this high volume node. We don't have much in the way if we break out here. So the next stop could be 65.5 if we continue to consolidate sideways and go up. But ultimately, it does kind of look like we're starting to curve around here. And I mean, money flow is starting to come up. VWAP starting to come down, but it kind of does look like it's slightly inwardly curved. Momentum itself is also starting to curve over. Basically, if we're going to continue to pump hard, we need to get up over 67 this week. Because if we don't get up over 67 this week, that's just going to allow the indicators to just roll on over and just start to produce a fractal where we have a low, a high, a lower low, a equal high, or a near, and then we come down and make an equal low. Like more often than not, 70 or 80% of the time, Bitcoin just goes sideways. So right here, this is our sideways range. And once we hit the value area low, we're likely to come back to the POC and or the value area high. And then repeat the process until the auction is agreed on, because all this is a bunch of buyers and sellers. And if there's people that agree that this is a cheap price for Bitcoin, then that's going to keep the price from staying down there too long, because people will buy. But at the same time, if there's a bunch of people that think that this is too expensive for Bitcoin and they're looking to sell, well, that will keep the price from going any higher, because that's where their orders are. We do have a massive inefficiency gap here, which has been the inefficiency gap for a while that we've been talking about. But this is why, if you are long-term, which you should be, because you should have at least a 10-year plan at all times, and don't worry about a 10-year plan. You can adjust your 10-year plan as you go, but you should at least have a 10-year plan. But you can just see the amount of volume we have up here is now resistance. So that's why I'm talking about 67K being pretty crucial, because it would make a lot of sense for us to just get stuck back under here and go sideways for a month, which would be totally fine, because this is the DCA range. That's why we put it on there. If you're a long-term accumulator of Bitcoin, because you understand that it's a hard asset backed by math and scarcity, and you know that the dollar that it's valued in is infinite and being constantly printed every single day without recoil, then you know that you probably want to have an asset of some kind in your investment portfolio. And whether that's stocks, Bitcoin, real estate, stuff like that, we know that they're never going to stop printing, because it's mathematically impossible for them to stop printing, because they have to pay interest on the debt. Every single time they print a dollar, they have to pay the interest rate on that printed money. It was supposed to regulate things, but they just keep moving the goalposts and changing rules and distract you with beer and sports and hope that you don't notice, basically, which is why we were talking about last couple weeks ago when we were streaming last, that the FIFA World Cup coming to the West is a red flag. Big red flag.
Yeah.
And so, this is me giving them a red card. Red card. But on that note, it's funny because people get all upset about these guys for what they're doing, but it's like ultimately has nothing to do with those guys. They're just the faces for you to get mad at and hope that once you vote them out, something will change. But we know that won't happen because it's never happened before. So they're going to continue to play that game as long as you're willing to let them. But I did just go down to the USA for a few days, and it was awesome. And everybody down there is so cool, so chill. I went down there to watch baseball, and I think there's a World Cup going on there today where I was, but we watched the Canada game just on the big screen. They got a bunch of places to watch it and stuff like that. So I talked to hundreds of new people over the last 5 days or however long I was gone, and like every single one of those people was so cool, so inviting. I'm wearing a Blue Jays hat with a Canadian flag on it the whole time. Everybody knows I'm Canadian, right? Like I'm also being very polite. I got high energy. We were buying people drinks, people are buying us drinks. Ran into so many people that were just so cool, right? So it sucks how many people, because when I told certain people that I was going on this trip, multiple people reached out and said, I can't believe you're going to go down there. And it's like, man, I can't believe you believe that it's as bad as you see on the screens. Like, you gotta do your own research. Go talk to real people. Make a phone call, for heaven's sakes. Don't freaking text or you do all this stuff. Like, make an actual phone call. Talk to somebody in real life. These people are getting so disconnected from reality because they rely on what they believe to be news, and it's just like, no, man, that's not how it works.
You know, the news networks are actually like legally classified as entertainment. They're not news. They're not journalistic people. They're entertainment.
Absolutely, right? And it's been that way for a long time, and that's been the whole point of it, was to encourage engagement, right? So it's like, just think about it. Have you ever seen a day? I mean, I don't watch the news, but I'm sure it's never happened where they're like,
you hear everyone else yap about it. That's all they do.
Well, they're like, well, I guess there's actually just nothing going on today. It's actually just a pretty chill day. You guys have a good day out there. You know, like, that doesn't happen, you know? And there obviously is days where nothing happens, but they literally fabricate stories just to keep you engaged, just to keep you coming back, just to keep you believing that they know everything and they know what they're talking about. So it's unfortunate for most people who believe that the world works that way and are constantly getting taken advantage of. Like, that's the worst part about it all, is that they are those people that are usually the nicest people too, are just getting burned. But looking at the charts here on the Bitcoin, I do have to say this looks fairly bullish. We do need to get up and regain 67K and stay on top of that to try and move up higher. And which, honestly, what the charts kind of look like right now, this is, again, we're on the weekly here. Money flow doesn't look great. And we've kind of talked about this before, is where we have big green, little red, little green, big red. So that is still definitely in play. I take the momentum waves and the RSIs with a grain of salt compared to the money flow, because money flow is everything. If you understand how to read order books and watch order books, you can see, it was funny, when we were down there, I got to a conversation with a lady who, she was sitting beside me at the game, and I could tell right away when we sat down, because we come in hot. Like, me and the boys, we come in hot. We had a couple pre-drinks, you know, like, we're stoked. And I could tell right away that she's kind of just like, oh, this might be tough. But after like the second or third inning, her and I were just talking constantly, and then the Jays were getting blown out that game, so I was just like, oh, whatever, this game's a write-off. So her and I just talked for the rest of the game pretty much constantly. She was in insurance, and she talks about all the capital, the what's it called, the drawing a blank, venture capital that she works with, and so she sees a lot of money. She sees where it all goes, and then I'm talking about obviously the stuff that I normally talk about. So we gelled really quickly, and it was awesome, because I'm talking to somebody about something, and I go, you know, basically just telling everything I'm saying, and she goes, yes, I know, right? I know, and she's just like, we're just feeding off of each other, and then I at one point I was like, man, I wish my wife listened to me like you did. And she's like, I know, my husband's the same way. And it's like, well, yeah. It's pretty funny though. And she has a daughter who's doing really well, and also is really like smart and has a lot of things going on in the same reason. And she was telling me about her, and I was like, man, like, and then of course talking about alcohol, cannabis, energy drinks, just like we talked way more than just economics, just talking about life in general. But it was really cool to get information from her, and not only information through her about things from her daughter, who is doing quite well as well. So it was just stuff like that happening, and just randomly running into somebody that you can just talk to for like a couple hours nonstop, and learn and feed off each other. Like, that's the best thing, as well as have a good time and watch some baseball, right? But it's funny, it was a good time, but it's just confirming when you finally talk to somebody who has the same understanding for macroeconomics, monetary policy, you know, because she talks about, you know, she sees a lot of money move around, and I started talking about order books, and she goes, oh yeah, I know. And so if you don't know what an order book is, it's basically the flow of money, whether it's coming in or out of an asset. And what I look for when I'm watching an order book is, most of the time, an average order book would be completely random, completely random because you have people from all over the world either buying or selling a stock or an asset of some kind, and they're all doing it within their own budget, right? So the very little chance that you're going to get 18 or 20 people in a row that are going to buy the same amount or sell the same amount at the similar time. So when you're watching an order book, and they should be completely random. It's when we start seeing the order books line up with the same transaction over and over and over again, then you're like, okay, this is foul play. And which is probably what happened a little bit this morning, because funding rates were all over the place. I don't know if you were watching funding rates this morning, but it was crazy. I have never seen such a volatile funding rates. And that's because
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous morning.
And it was positive, negative, super way negative, then way positive. It was just like, I was like, wow, what is going on right now? And the reason that happens is because there's people that are making large moves so fast that the books and some of the computers and algorithms, stuff like that, can't even really keep up with it. So that's called manipulation. That's what we call that, manipulation. So we woke up this morning and we were dumping, and then all of a sudden we just pumped out of nowhere, and then we had another little pump here.
The 1 hour, that's
dude,
nuts.
That candle was 5 minutes.
Away for like 3 hours.
Dude,
that's just what happened.
That candle was like 15 minutes. There you go, 15 minutes. We had a couple big moves here this morning. So we had a couple big dumps, boom, boom, and then consolidation for a little bit, break up, and then big sell off right there, but then comes back up.
Dumping.
Yeah, and then boom. I think if we go back to the 15 minute, let's see what it looks like here on the 15 minute. So just for some future reference, again, the green line is the 200 moving average. I really like to watch the 15 minute. You can see here we lost the 15 minute, retest it as resistance, couldn't get back, and just dumped. So for instance, as a trader, if you don't want to sit in trades for long times and you're looking for scalps, you want to learn how to use the EMAs, because if you look at this one, we come down and we sit on the 300 or sit on the 200. So are you going to look for a long in here? Yeah, you could try and hold for a long in here, but it's like once you break away from that 200, you could have longed anywhere in here, and then you got the big move, and then take profits, move your stop to profit, and then just don't worry about it. And then look, oh, we lose the 200. Okay, well you've closed out right now because you've moved your stop to profit. Okay, we've lost it. Maybe look for a short. We lose it. We come back and retest and can't get on. Then you get the big move. So we're talking about half a day, and then a couple hours. You know what I mean? So if you learning how to capitalize on the big quick moves is one of the best ways to learn how to trade, because sitting and watching sideways price action for hours and having nothing happen is really boring, and it can take you away from what you're looking for. But if you understand how to watch these EMAs, because a lot of the reason it moves that way is because of bots. A lot of people use AI and bots for trading, so that's what the bots do. And when the bots get activated because of the things that's happened, that's when you see those big moves. And then look right here, we come right back up. We actually sat here for a little bit and got a little rejection, but then it came back up, and as soon as it got on top there, it just went boom, kept flying right back up there, right? So we're talking about multiple percentage move if you got some leverage going, which you can make money off of. And you don't need to be in the whole time. You just need to be in the right side of the trade. It's not about getting exact tops or getting exact bottoms. It's about understanding momentum and direction and just being in the right spot at the right time. For instance, right now, if we look at this price action where we are sitting right this second, we now have potentially a bearish setup here. So this looks like a support line here, and we have a downward trend of resistance here. And so if this continues on here with a breakdown and a retest, and we can't get back up into this area, get back up over that yellow EMA, which is the 21, then there's a likely that we're going to come back down into this sideways range that we played around in here for a couple hours. And then from there, you might see a shoulder, head, shoulder, and we might come back down even further. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen until we see what's going to happen, but this is probability that we can try and capitalize on. You don't have to win every single trade. You don't have to have even a 50% win rate to be profitable, as long as you keep your losses small and move your stop to break even as often as you can, because you can take 10 break even trades in a row and not lose any money. That's fine. And if you understand that the name of the game is simply not losing money, then you will, by product, make money. When you're out there trying to make money and forcing trades, you end up getting burned most of the time. You can get lucky here and there, but as long as you're kind of paying attention to momentum and direction, and don't use too high a leverage, you might be okay. But a lot of people are like, okay, I need to make money right now, and just come to the chart, and they're like, okay, what do we got? And then it's like they're forced to take a trade that potentially wasn't great, and then they might get burned. But you don't need to try and make money off every single trade. I highly recommend having your levels, understanding where you're going to be out of that trade before you even enter. If it doesn't go your way, when are you getting out? And you should have your stops fairly close, especially if you're beginning. Make a plan, stick to it. Right now, kind of looks like we're battling with that right now. So this might be, I don't know, we might see a little bit of a cool off. Of course, it is now almost 5 o'clock. So the daily candle is going to close here in about 20 minutes. So we will keep an eye on that. And in the meantime, we'll go back to the macro, and just try and, this is ultimately, like, overall pretty bullish looking. But the thing about bullish divergences and bearish divergences is it doesn't always mean that's the bottom. It kind of often can just indicate sideways price action, which just means the bears are losing steam. Okay, so but it doesn't necessarily mean the bulls are fully convinced yet. So and vice versa, if you see bearish divergence coming on the way up. And if we go back to the top for reference, the reason why we were quite bearish was because we had bearish divergence once already, and then a bit of a retrace, and then we even made a lower high, but then we made about an equal high there, and we started running. And I remember on that chart that I had this day being the top, no price really, but I did actually say 125k was likely just to take this high out because we had a bunch of liquidity up there. And when we were down here, I was like, that didn't really look like it was going to happen. I was kind of, because I made that call back here. Can't remember when it was, but it was, it was way before the top. And when we were here, it was kind of like, oh shit, like maybe the top is in, like this might be it. This might be it. But we sat there, we consolidated, and then we broke up. And then I was like, okay, that kind of makes it look like we're going to come for one more big run, liquidate all the people that are early shorters. And you can see in the chart that we are making lower highs in the RSI. RSI is going down, and then the price does continue to go up before the actual move happens, because a lot of the time what happens is we just go sideways for a while. And so right now, nearing bottom, we've just kind of really started this move, you know what I mean? We could go sideways for months, and that's why we have a DCA range, because ultimately long term it's only going to be here for so long, and then up we go. We have people like Michael Saylor, who actually sold Bitcoin this morning. Did you see that? Strategy sold Bitcoin this morning, and then I think something in the United States government announced they're working on a Bitcoin backed thing for your kids or something, and it's just kind of, it popped right back up. But it's like, either way, there's lots of people that are accumulating a lot of Bitcoin. So it's, with a capped supply, it's not going to stay down cheap for long. Our last bottom was 15.4. This bottom might not get anywhere near that. In fact, I have this box down here that is Bitcoin's dead, buy aggressively. Not financial advice. Nothing I say or do should be taken as financial advice, of course, and smash the like button and all that fun stuff. But like, if we get a chance down here, I hope you've been studying this whole time, right? Because we've been talking about this for years. And for me personally, if we get down here, this is a total if, this is not a guarantee. If we get down here, I'll be taking advantage of it. And if we do get down here, it's likely that we see some volatility, because there's going to be a lot of over leveraged positions that are going to get liquidated, margin called. And when that happens, it forces more selling and more selling and more selling. And then the big wigs are going to come and soak it all up. So honestly, the thing that like most of the time that happens is how can the market wreck the most people? Well, we're in the box, so we're DCAing, but like there's still a lot of people that are like going off of Fibonacci. The Fibonacci from the low to the high is I think 38K, where we've been hitting as far as each cycle has been going. So there's a lot of people that are like, no, I'm waiting until 40K. 40K is when I'm coming in, right? So, and there's a lot of people who are technically right because the technical analysis does say that, but to wreck the most people, it would be the best thing for Bitcoin and the people who are the market makers to actually continue to come up here and get everybody thinking, oh no, and start to FOMO in. Maybe that was the bottom before coming back down and just literally just continuing this sideways price action until the this is the green line here is the daily 200 moving average, until the daily moving average kind of, let's get the pencil here, you know, kind of continues to go down and the moving average goes down and then comes back up again, right? Like that's kind of what we expect the moving average to do, and that's why we use them, because anytime you're below a significant time frame moving average, you can expect to get back, and every time you're above, you can expect to get back. It happens every time. That's how the markets move because they never stop printing money, so it's gonna continue happening that way. But until then, you take it as a long term, and the easiest way to do it is to just study, pay attention, be smart about your choices. Don't let certain things distract you. Stay focused. Another thing too is how many people like get into it. I mean, I was at fault for doing this early too. Is like you're in for maybe a year, maybe a bit longer, but then for whatever reason you're like, oh, screw this, I'm out, right? Because you get burned or whatever, right? But unfortunately, those that take a loss and then walk away never end up successful at anything, because that's their approach to mostly everything. It's when you get burned and you come back and you learn why you got burned and then you adjust and continue to grow. Those are the people who become successful, because it doesn't matter what you're doing. You have to understand that there's no such thing as a loss. There's only lessons. Okay. You have to take it that way. Okay. And the people that win have lost more than the people that lose and decide to walk away, if that makes any sense. The people that win have lost more than the losers. The winners have lost more than the losers, but they keep coming back. They keep coming back. They keep coming back, almost like a freaking cockroach. You can't kill them. Those are the type of people that become successful, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's all the approach, the psychology, the attitude is what differs most people from being successful or just going with the flow and letting their life basically be lived for them, decided for them, and all this stuff. It's pretty crazy, but it is what it is, right?
It's all right. No, you make sure to set those stop losses. Don't ever bet more than you're willing to lose either.
Absolutely. And look at that. Look what we got. We got a rejection, and now it's not looking great. Not looking great if you're long.
Always strong in.
Yeah. I mean, well, the thing is too, it's like when you're trading, short positions are only hedges, right? For when the price is going down. Ultimately, though, excuse my voice, by the way, I was doing a lot of yelling over the last few days, and it's taken a toll. Also, may have done some karaoke, some ill-advised karaoke, but yeah, we only short for a hedge. Like I'm not holding the short to zero. That'd be insane. Like, you hold a short down into liquidity, and then you hop out, right? And we're looking at the liquidity map here, like we did before. We have a big reason for Bitcoin to come down lower, and again, just kind of continue that sideways price action. So whether it happens or not, nobody knows for sure, but it's probability that we trade on. It's probability that we bet on. So it's likely. What I love about this too, it's like, because some people love to bet on sports. Some people are great at it. Most people are not. But the thing about sports for me is I've never placed a bet on sports. I almost did once, And it was for the Blue Jays to win the World Series last year. I was about to do it at the beginning of the year. I was going to put like $500 on it, and the payout was going to be massive, but I never did it. And then I was kicking myself the whole time, but it was like whatever, because they were looking good. I had a great feeling about last year, especially because of 2024, what had happened and how they had learned from some of the big, because they went for it in 2024. It's like signing Turner, signing a bunch of big names, and like really going for a 1-year deal on a lot of guys. And then they got cooked basically and had to trade most of them at the trade deadline because they didn't do great at all. And then I was like, but I was paying attention the whole time. I'm going, they're going to learn from this. They still got Vladdy. The energy is good. They still got Bo. And 2025 was looking great. You can go back and look at my Instagram. I made a reel about it, and I posted it well before it came out, or well before that all happened. So definitely verify. Do not trust me. Go and verify on my Instagram, Surely Sound. Make sure you follow me. But like ultimately, it's just because I'm paying attention. That's why like a lot of people are often like, oh, how'd you know that was going to happen? Or how'd you know this? It's like, because I'm paying attention. It's not that hard. Like, you guys are just freaking shooting blind here. You guys are like out here shooting your arrows. You can't see nothing. All I'm doing is watching. I'm paying attention, and that's why I'm getting the hits. That's the only difference. And a lot of people, you know, they love to complain about stuff. They love to say this is not working. This is not working. Blah blah blah. Maybe this guy will be better, but it's like, no, man. You got to look. Think bigger. Think much bigger. Think globally. Don't think about any governments. Don't think about any countries. Think globally. Okay, and then you will start to understand it. But the other thing I was going to say is that I think it's funny how often people do. I mean, you can't get away from it. The news does affect the markets ultimately, because there's that many retail traders out there that are just paying attention to news and just trading news. And it's funny because I actually saw a meme not too long ago about a trader in the 2000s, 5 screens, 10 charts, bunch of stuff going on, and then it's like trader in 2026 just watches X, like just scrolls X for trades. And it's like, it's kind of the way it is honestly, you got to watch. And so many people, you have to understand though, like so many people subscribe or follow or whatever to Donald Trump because things that he says moves the market. So people are making money off of his calls. He's making money off of his calls. It's not about whether it's right or wrong. It's not about whether it's going to help you or it's going to hurt you. It's about making money. It's the government. All governments are just insider trading desks. A trading desk is just basically a company that hires a bunch of people and gets them to study the market. And as a whole, when you get a bunch of people together, you can move the market, or at least try and win more from the market than one person doing it on their own. When brains come together, it often works better. So all the governments nowadays, if you haven't noticed, they are just insider trading desks, and they are just draining people of their funds. That's all the government does these days. Go look at the roads and then tell me something different. Okay? Where's all your tax dollars? Because they're not going into the roads. Like no. They just redid the water main out on my street, and they should have done it 20 years ago because the pipes were from the 60s where I live. And I live in a pretty modern place. And anyways, they didn't even pull all the metal pipes out. They pulled some of the metal pipes out, but they left most of the metal pipes in and just ran a plastic pipe right beside it. I was talking to one of the guys there when they were going across my house there. But anyways, like when they did that, they originally in the plan, because I got it all in the mail, told us what we're going to do, what's going to happen. It was to lay the water main down, and then they're going to repave the whole road. Whole road was going to get done. I was like, sweet, this is going to be great. The road needs work, and they keep just trying to patch things here and there. And actually, not too long ago, just up from my house, the water main blew. It's actually blown 3 times since I've been here in a matter of 300 feet in front of my house. And so a big garbage truck drove down the road one day, and the road just collapsed underneath it because the water main, I guess, was leaking and softened the ground underneath the road. And then when that truck came by, it was all hell broke loose, and there was freaking massive flooding just because these pipes are so old. Anyways, should have been done a long time ago. So finally, okay, it was those 3 in the last 5 years that finally made them pull the trigger and do it. But it was like obviously should have been done a long time ago. One of the first fixes, the guy just drilled a hole and drilled a hole, tapped it, and put a plug in it. He's like, oh, it should be good. And I like watched him do it. I'm like, really? You think that's gonna work? And I mean, it did, but all it did was just blow it in the next weakest spot, right? Like,
yeah.
Anyways,
it's not a fix.
No,
they don't care.
No,
they
don't care
really don't. All they care is about themselves, their little agendas, and what they can do with their money. Like here, I got a good one for you. I don't know if it's really for stream, but I just found out that well, if I want to identify as a woman and get a sex change, my work employer will actually give me $10,000.
What?
Yeah.
Incentivizing a sex change?
I'm not kidding you.
You got
I have it in writing.
What?
So I'm coming out and I'm going to get reimbursed because I identify as having it done, and we're gonna have a nice 10 grand trading account here.
Oh my god, that's insane. See, well, and that's just
here's the choice, man. If it were up to me, I'd quit working for that employer just based on that alone. But hell, man, I love being a garbage man. So,
oh man, that's
screw
crazy.
the city.
That's weird.
Yeah,
does it go the other way? Does it go the other way too? Is there any females at your work that get the same offer, or are they just trying to create more females?
Yeah, no. Actually, there is a dude that uses the women's restroom there somehow. I don't know how they allow that one, but
yeah, that's called suspicious as fuck. Back in the day, and we were just talking about this while we were in the States. I was having a conversation with an old dude, and I was like, man, like, not even 100 years ago, when people did fucked up shit, they got shot in the street.
I know, right?
You got shot.
Yeah.
And it's like now people get away with murder.
People just walked on by like it was just another day because it was like, oh, the guy fucked around.
Well, I mean, exactly, right? Like when people did shady shit back in the day, you got maybe imprisoned, but like a lot of the time they would just shoot you. Like that was it.
Communities didn't want that type of behavior in it.
Exactly. And now, do we understand why now? Is that making some sense now?
No.
Look at us now. Let's save everybody. Save everybody because they have mental health issues. Doesn't really work.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not working.
Loony bins.
It's not working. It's not my opinion. Look at the economic state of everything. It's not working. There's no consequence for people's actions. And that is it just doesn't work. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about.
That's the wild part.
It just doesn't work.
No consequences, man. Like for anything these days.
Nobody feels like they need to be accountable for anything because nothing will happen to them if they do something wrong. And then if they do something wrong, they can just be like, oh, yeah, I was feeling bad that day, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you couldn't control yourself. So you did that and you've hurt however many people doing that. And it's unacceptable behavior. You remember that? Unacceptable behavior? That should become a thing again. Unacceptable behavior. Yeah. We need to be drawing our lines. We need to be tightening our restrictions a little bit here on some certain things. The brutal thing is that they're tightening restrictions on being successful, but they're loosening restrictions on being fucked up.
I know.
That's completely backwards.
Bitcoin for, I guess it's our escape to move somewhere else.
Well, that's it, man. You have to at least have the ability to leave in an instant if you need to, because you never know when. Sorry, but you're the next flag on the risk board. Where they're coming for, right? And even you'd like to think that it's not going to happen to you. Everybody would like to think it's not going to happen to you, but it's honestly just a matter of time. And if you look at all these other places that it's happened to in the past, it begins with the money. And everybody has resources. The entire world is full of resources one way or another, okay? But it has to do with the money first. When you watch the money start to fail, then the people start to get, lazy. The people start to get loose. The people start to think that that's the way of life, and then they get taken advantage of, and then they get wiped out. And the same families continue to build, make money off of it, destroy, build, make money off of it.
Haven't you seen all the new people they're bringing into the country to replace another whole bunch of people into the country?
Well, yeah. The reason they did that is because that's the only way we can maintain a positive GDP without exporting resources, is by bringing people in.
Which is wrong. Basically.
It's not a good idea. It's just not a good idea. I feel sorry for the people that are moving here because they're getting lied to more than we are. they're getting lied to. Oh yeah, come here, it's an amazing place, right? And they even incentivize them by giving them money.
A lot have actually left.
Oh, a lot of them have left, and a lot of them are like calling their ancestors, calling their aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff, and saying, "Yeah, don't do it. It was a scam," and it is. It's 100% a scam. And because they come here with they're promised a certain thing, and then they get here and it's nowhere near what they were told, and then oh, they so where their money is, where they live, their money has lost its value. Or is losing its value worse. So when they see, oh, you're gonna get 1,000 Canadian dollars, they're like, oh wow, like, and they think about the stuff that they could buy where they live now with that type of money.
Yeah,
but then they come here.
They don't understand our $1,000 is useless.
$1,000 ain't get you nothing, man. You can't live for a week.
No, that's
with $1,000 bucks.
Like changing your pocket these days.
Yeah. So it's like that, but they don't do their own research. They just see that and they think, well, $1,000, I could live for like 6 months here, up $1,000. So like, you can't live, you cannot live for 6 days for $1,000 here.
Not on, geez, $1,000. Like, who are we kidding?
Not a chance.
Mean, that's why we're talking about this, right?
Exactly, right? So we're trying to spread awareness and let people know, like, hey, like, you got to do your own research. That's the biggest thing. Don't trust, verify, no matter what. No matter what you're looking into, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. You can't rely on most people's information these days. And I see it every single day with my kids. My kids come home from school and they tell me something new. Oh, I learned this today. And I go, huh? And they go, this, oh yeah, this means this and this and this. And I go, who told you this? Oh, it was the kid, blah, blah, this guy. Like, so what happens nowadays is that kids, I mean, it's been happening forever, but this is like, I'm just seeing it firsthand. Somebody will say something or maybe call a name or use a term or whatever, and nobody knows what it means. None of the kids knows what it means, right? They're all, for lack of a better word, they're pretty dumb. But I mean, I love them. We're here to teach them, and I'm doing my best, but they're just not, their brains are not developed yet, okay? So that there's a reason for the lack of intelligence. They have a long way to go. No problem with that whatsoever. We're here to learn. But when these kids have a platform like Instagram and they can learn something wrong and then make up their own meaning for it just because simply that's what they thought it was, or they didn't know and they were put on the spot, so they lied. And then all of a sudden the next kid thinks that's the truth. And then the next kid thinks that's the truth. And then all of a sudden you have a group of kids who have the internet available and gaming available and all this stuff where they can spread false information like wildfire. And then you have these kids using terms and I'm like, dude, like, just look at an encyclopedia. That's not what that means, man. Don't go saying that. Yet, no. Don't go saying that in a group of 30 or 40-year-old people because you're going to look like an idiot. Okay? Do your own research. Do not trust, verify. Okay? We see it time and time again, burning people who believe other people who will just lie. And that's what happens. There's lots of people out there that have no idea what they're talking about, but they want attention or they're insecure or whatever it is, so they just keep talking. And it's like, hey man, maybe you should check that before you, don't copyright me right now, you. Hold on, the music's changing on me. The playlist ended. The playlist ended there, that's all.
Oh.
I didn't start it early enough. No big deal. But I'm not seeing, are we getting a copyright strike? Doesn't look like it. So far. Nice. Okay, we're good. Nothing yet. Okay. But anyways, that's just kind of like with social media, with the internet, you have to verify the information that you're seeing. Whether you're hearing it from somebody or you're seeing a headline on a screen somewhere. Okay, you cannot just believe it and then, worse off, repeat it to somebody else.
Yeah.
That's where it gets bad. Because, I saw this and can you believe this? And that's the funny thing is how often people are like, whoa, can you believe this? Blah, 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 blah. The first thing out of their mouth is, can you believe this? I always go, no. No, I don't believe it.
My first question is like, what moron told you that?
Well, and the thing is they don't even believe it. Their subconscious says, can you believe this? And they bro, no, not at all. Like, come on, man. You got to think a little bit. A little bit. Just do a little bit of thinking. Just sit down and be like, wait a minute. Like, does that line up just like, mathematically, statistically, whatever, whatever you're talking about? Is it actually possible? Or is it just some kid that has no idea what they're talking about, so they just said some shit, and now everybody thinks it's true? Right?
Yep.
So, and there's no difference between the kids on the school ground and then the people in the government. Because I don't know if you've been watching Carney lately talking about the condo bailout. He just keeps...
Oh, God, no. I can't do it. It's these people are just... I was in real estate and in politics for a while, and it's just a horrible place.
Well, they just keep saying stuff until you believe it. It's like,
and that's the other thing. He lied. Like, I mean, what's one thing he's done or said that I don't know. I don't trust the word they say.
No,
I don't really focus much on what they do. I know it affects the price of Bitcoin and
it's only short term though.
So
a lot of those news events are only short term, short term volatility type effects, right? So if you're scalping, then maybe you can use it. And that's kind of a joke earlier about the meme with the watching X, but I mean, there is some truth to it.
Oh no, yeah, X is a great place for the information for it.
But long term, ultimately, we know that every fiat currency is going to zero. That's the whole plan. Yes. That's the whole idea. That is Keynesian economics. Okay, read a book. Keynesian, I don't know, Keynesian. Some people pronounce it differently. I think Keynesian sounds better. But Keynesian economics, basically, in a nutshell, you should Google this, do your own research, of course. Or there's another search engine coming out that I just saw the other day. I'm gonna start using that's even more decentralized. But anyways,
what?
We'll talk about that another time. I got to do some more research on it before I'm going to talk about it. But it is in the pipeline coming down. But ultimately, Keynesian economics is the inflating of the currency to initiate people to buy because you want to buy today because things are only going to get more expensive tomorrow. So, but nobody's taught this in school, so people save money and then they go and start a bank account. Thanks, Mom. Got a bank account now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, so they're like, oh yeah, keep putting money away, keep putting money. And meanwhile, all the bankers are just investing your money, taking all of your gains, and you're left with an inflated currency. Okay, the number keeps going up, but it buys you less and less each year. That is a good way to kickstart an economy. It works great to get things going. That's why it was designed. But at some point,
but it also sounds like a scam. Like honestly, like just saying it's like, would I really want to go for a system like that? Like, how do you propose that to people? Where it's like, the cost of living is going to get more expensive every single year, so your currency isn't going to buy you as much, and that's the society you're going to live in. Yeah. Like, how could you sell that back in the 70s to these people? And it blows my mind.
They're trying to do it. Well, the 70s actually wasn't even that bad, because if you think about it, like even in the 70s, somebody that was making, let's just say double minimum wage. So that's a good wage, right?
Oh, they were killing it then. You were killing. If you're making minimum wage, in
the 70s, minimum wage was like, I think probably like $1 or $2. Like, it was pretty low.
But it was, yeah.
But if you're making $4 or $5 an hour, you can buy a house for 50 grand, right? You only have to work so much. You only have to work, maybe 6 or 7 years, and you can buy a house, right? But now you have to work 30 or 40 years to buy a house.
Yeah, for a 30 or 40 year mortgage.
Right, and so you have to just, if you take your mind away from dollar value and understand true value, because that's how they convinced everybody. Remember back in the day when Set for Life was $1,000 a week? Oh, when the Set for Life lotto ticket, Set for Life, $1,000 a week.
Yeah, 1,000. I wouldn't do jack shit right now.
Yeah, you can't. Like, it doesn't work anymore. And so, but all they do is use the dollar value to make you believe that it's going to be better. And not only that, if you are getting a raise that does keep up with inflation, which none of them do, none of them are keeping up with inflation. But if you are getting a pay increase at the same rate as inflation, you are still losing money. Let me explain. Every time you make more money, you get taxed more money. So every time you make more money, you actually are giving more money to CRA, IRS, other entities. right? So
hence why people who make a certain amount every year quit working, because they won't want to go over that threshold.
exactly. And and that's another thing too, is like a lot of people are talking about with the whole billionaire thing and take money from the rich. It's like, well, if you change the laws to do that and put them in a bracket, then they're just going to stop. They'll work for 2 months.
Like you're the one out of a job.
Exactly.
So.
They'll work for 2 months, get to the threshold, and then just stop. And then there goes your job, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you need to tax
Like,
wealth, not work, but at the same time,
real billionaires.
It's got to be done properly.
Every billionaire is cash poor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
They have assets that make them billionaires.
Yeah. And they have them in trusts, and then they borrow the money through the trust.
Yeah.
Right. And then that's where they get their cash from. They're spending cash, and then they use a life insurance policy to pay off the debt.
Yeah, they're not opening their bank account and being like, "Oh, I got $3 billion today. What should I go buy?"
Yeah, no, it's like that's not how the wealthy people do. But you don't learn that anywhere other than doing your own research and learning for yourself. That's not
they're wealthy because they work. Also, you got to remember that too. There's a lot of people that do spend a lot of time working and built companies that became that,
and providing value to a lot of different people too, not just working, because there's a lot of people out there that work hard but they have nothing to show for it, because either they're not providing value like they could be, that is getting used by a large amount of people, or they're just not doing it properly or understanding that, hey, like, they work hard, but then they smoke a pack and drink a case of beer every day or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can, it doesn't matter how much money you make. If your mental wealth is poor, then you will be poor. Doesn't matter how much money you make. There's plenty of people, it happens every day, that win the lottery and lose it because they have poor mental wealth. Everything's been focusing on mental health. Well, guess what? If you focus on mental wealth, your mental health will be just fine. You'll have no problems. But they don't want to tell you that. They don't want to tell you that, because they want to continue to maintain their side of the K-shaped economy. Because right now, people who are rich are getting richer, and people who are poor are getting poorer. That's the K-shaped economy, where this guy goes up, this guy goes down. K-shaped economy. And Bitcoin helps you, any asset helps you get on the uptick of the K-shaped economy. And Bitcoin just is the easiest and most liquid asset to get a hold of. You can't buy $10 worth of a house, right? You have to have $80,000 just to put a down payment on a place, right? So you have
to qualify. You also have to have a job that makes enough money, right? You got a whole bunch of other stuff you got to do too.
And then you're forced to save money for however many years to get that. But it continues to get further away from you every day.
Oh yeah, there's no point in saving, right? You might as well save in Bitcoin, because that'll get you to a house way faster.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so people are starting to wake up to this, and this is why we're seeing lots of green days here in a row. That's also just the charts telling you that it was time for some cool off.
It's also kind of why you're seeing the condo bailout too, right?
Yeah,
is because people they don't want to do it anymore. They're like, I'm not paying that for that. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. So that is the beginning. I mean, I don't know if it's actually beyond the beginning of the end. I think the beginning of the end happened a while back, but this is just very, very bad warning signs, I guess. I don't know, like it's happening. I've been talking about it for years. We've been talking about it here for at least a year. It's like it's proving that it's not getting any better. And that's another thing that I was like, some people are talking about, oh yeah, we go through cycles, it gets better, it gets worse, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, we did. But after 2020 and 2021 and the amount of money that they printed, it's never going to get better. There actually used to be, I don't have the chart right now, but maybe I'll bring it up next time. There actually used to be negative inflation readings. Things did used to get cheaper back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. When we were kids, I know it wasn't. When there was new technologies that actually helped and made things more efficient, there was negative inflation readings and reports. But we will never ever see a negative inflation reading ever again. Not a chance. There is no way. And people talk about deflation. Oh, AI is going to make things deflationary. Like, they'll find a way to fuck that up. I'll tell you that for free. They're not going to let that happen, man. They don't want to give up their position. They don't want to give up that position. They're not going to, because in a K-shaped economy, unfortunately, the majority go down. and a select few go up, and they want to stay that way. And we were watching a show. I was watching a show with my wife, I don't know, a year ago, so. And it was like, I can't remember, maybe it was like 1800s based or something like that, late 1800s based. And you have the wealthy and the serving class. There's no middle class. Maybe it was, yeah, I don't know what time. The whole North America, the revolution for the West was to create the middle class. And there's always, before that, I guess 1776 is when the United States was founded, but it's like, it took them a while to get things going. But it's like the middle class didn't really take off until the 50s, really. The 50s is after World War II. That's when the middle class thrived. And then we had 50s, 60s, 70s, and then 80s, things got a little bit rough with the interest rates and the inflation. But then 90s kind of came back and everything was kind of okay again. And that was kind of what the people that lived through that believe that, oh yeah, it gets rough, but it gets better. But it's like, no, what just happened was you were watching a chart, whether you knew it or not, and things got rough and things got better, but they didn't get as good as they were before. And now things got even worse. What you did was you're in an uptrend. Inflation was in an uptrend. You made a high, you made a low, but it was a higher low. Then you made a higher high and a higher low and a higher higher. Things are never, ever gonna go back to taking out those lows. It doesn't work on a liquidity basis like Bitcoin does. It's not gonna come back for those lows. There's no chance that it's coming back for those lows. And that's because of the money printing and the amount of money that they have to print to pay off the debt. The United States has to refinance $6 trillion alone in the next few months here, I believe. Don't quote me on that, do your own research, but like there's a lot of money up for renewal. They have to do the same thing you do and renew their refinance. And that's another thing why Trump wants Warsh to lower interest rates, because they have a big refinance coming up soon. So hey, like, you know, it's mathematically impossible for them to continue to pay off, to balance the budget. You haven't heard anybody say that forever because it's impossible, but it's like they're not even trying anymore. They're not even trying. They don't even care. They're just like, well, you guys just let us continue to do this. Nobody's causing massive uproar. Nobody's doing anything, even though we all have social media and you can organize people like never before. For one reason or another, the only things that get organized are events that tend to make things worse. And I'm not going to give you any, but I know a few, but I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But you got to pay attention. Like, is what you're doing and is what you're supporting actually helping everybody? You know, oh, it sounds like it's for equality. No, it only sounds like it's for equality. It's actually not really what it's about. It's about making you weaker. It's about manipulating you. And it's about you believing that they're trying to help you, but they're not. They're not trying to help you.
I just remember a time when people had morals and you couldn't compromise your morals for anything. And nowadays, nobody has morals. Nobody stands by it. They just, oh yeah, whatever goes. Let's just have it. No, there needs to be some sort of ground and foundation that, you know, a community stands on and so forth and so on.
That's because everything is a city-based mentality where it's everybody for themselves. But in a small town, like we've talked about many times before on this channel, a small town, everybody knows each other, everybody's accountable. You can't go steal any apples out of, you know, Mr. Johnson's apple tree because he knows who you are. He knows your mom. He babysitted your mom. Blah blah blah. Everybody knows everybody. So you get in trouble if you do something wrong because everybody knows you. Like you can't. But in a city mentality, you know, you can put on a hood and you can wear a sweater and you can go steal something and run away, and even the cameras won't see who you are. That's kind of what they're using for this whole AI shit right now, is that we're going to use it to make you safer so that people can't do that. Well, guess what? People have already come up with these masks that make it so no cameras can recognize your face. And it doesn't matter if you're going to try and retinal scan or whatever. Like, people are going to find a way to beat it, but they don't care. That's not what it's about for them. They want total control and total surveillance, right? It's not actually to help you. It's never to help you. If it was to help you, things would get better. They don't.
You, they'd stay the hell out of your life.
Exactly, right? Like we've talked about it before. The government is the problem, but the people that own the government are the problem. The government's the problem because they aren't doing the job that they should be doing for the people. They're working for the corporations that own them and are funding them. But for some reason, we keep voting and believing that the next guy will change it. The next guy will be better. It's like, no, he won't. They're the same people are just going to change the name on the check to who they're writing it to. Like, nothing changes. They're just paying somebody different.
If anybody ever actually does their research if you go and search what the Liberal Party's, views were back in the 90s and see what they've grown into from the 90s to now, and you go look at the Conservatives, well, to be honest, your Conservatives are now basically liberal policies from the 90s. But all the liberals still go and vote liberal because they don't think they've changed. They just vote name, right? If you look at the history of these political parties that they keep splitting everybody up with, rather than grouping together and taking out both the parties.
Well, the other thing too is like it doesn't matter who gets voted in because people just change sides. We've seen it.
Well, I know that's
seen
the
it
other
many
thing,
times.
right? It's just they don't care. It's whoever controls the money.
Yeah, all the money. The government is so low on the totem pole. It surprises me how many people believe that doing anything in the government is ever going to change something. They're all owned. We live in a capitalist society. That means capital controls everything. Capitalism. Capital controls the government. The government does whatever the capital tells it to do. Okay? In a communist country, the government controls the capital. And then you go down from there. So it's not really great either way. What we want is decentralization. You want there is a word for it, and I can't think of it right now. Totalitarian or something like that. People need to be held accountable for their actions, right? So honestly, blockchain.
Well, that's what, I was going to say, that's what blockchain is, right?
Exactly.
It's everybody verifying everybody.
Yeah. And we need the technology to be used for good, but if we allow the technology to be used for bad, then it's going to shackle everybody worse. But the thing is that it's going to go both ways, because there's going to be a group of people who have accumulated enough blockchain technology, blockchain assets, real world assets, and they're going to be able to be free because they're going to have the money to do so. Buy your own freedom. It's going to happen. And then there's going to be people that can't afford it, and they're going to have to live their entire life through a VR headset.
Yep.
It's like, it's not a big shock to me because you've seen movies, right? It's so funny how people are talk about how all of that movie's so crazy, that fictional movie. It's like, it's fiction now, but before too long, that might not be fiction anymore.
Well, the crazy thing is honestly, it probably isn't fiction over in China. Like if people actually went over to China and looked at their system and the way they do things, your attitude would change a whole lot real quick.
Yes. I encourage anybody to go, and you don't even have to go, but just some way, one way or another, study other cultures, study history of other cultures, because the stuff that the North America is going through right now happened so many times in the past. This exact same thing has happened hundreds of times over the last tens of thousands of years, even going all the way back to First Nations people making beads, or people collecting shells. Like somebody comes in, or the Rye Stones of Yak Island or whatever. It's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun, folks. You can prepare yourself. You can position yourself for the inevitable, because history tends to repeat itself. If not, it rhymes. So it's going to be a shame, because a lot of people are not going to pay attention to the right thing. They're going to get sucked into mainstream sports and all this other stuff and politics that's just misleading them. And then before too long, the rug is pulled from their feet, whereas other people who cut out the noise and just stay focused on their goals, understand really how the world works, and stay directionally focused, they will be just fine. It sucks because I don't think there's going to be any end to the K-shaped economy. And in Keynesian economics, there's just no way that'll happen. Now, if you study Bitcoin and you look at places like El Salvador, they turn their entire country around in less than 5 years. So we are seeing real world examples of an actual change because they got rid of fiat currencies. They got rid of Keynesian economics. Okay.
Well, and they elected a really good leader who said he was going to do shit and did it.
Yeah,
that was the other
that's another
thing
too. And We just kind of
But
hope.
that's how they did it. They got rid of their money, right? You
Mhm.
get rid of the swamp, you get rid of those people, and you bring in a Bitcoin standard
Yeah.
and an actual common sense normal person who lives among you
Yeah.
and isn't going to go walk around and think he's above you.
Yeah.
He thinks he's below you because he works for you, actually.
Mhm.
That's
It
who you
should
need
be,
in charge.
as it should be, right? As it was meant to be from the beginning. That's what I
Yeah.
try to tell people all the time. They get all hopped up about politics. I'm like, you understand why the government was implemented in the first time, right? In the first place, right? Like this was implemented at a time where we would travel on horseback. So we needed to get a group of people together so that they could make the trip, because not all of us are going to make the trip. And there was a term, it was like, don't shoot the messenger, right? But you know how many of them did get shot? It's like,
Well,
right?
Almost might need to go back to that.
Well, nowadays you have your phone. You can represent yourself instantly, globally. You don't need somebody to represent you anymore. It doesn't make any sense. And they know that. So they continue to make shit up so that we believe that we need them. They continue to cause problems and provide the solution. You know, it's all a plan. Like, they know what they're doing. And everything, all the shit stops when you stop paying attention. When the majority of people stop paying attention, then they are, okay, on to the next thing. And I don't understand how people don't see that, because it's like, okay, this problem will continue to persist as long as you give it your attention, because it's all about attention. It's all about attention. That's all they want. And it's because as long as you're giving them your attention, then you believe that you need them, right? And I don't understand why people keep paying attention to it. It blows my mind. It doesn't make any sense. It took me like,
I just think people are bored or something, or they need that entertainment, because it's you know, I've talked to people about Bitcoin and tried to, you know, yeah, it's worth investing and getting into it, and it's just like, I'm too busy gonna watch my politics and, you know, other crap and useless shit rather than educate myself. I'm gonna go. And it's like, well, you're not really educating yourself in anything watching that, right?
They're not interested in solving their problem.
Boring. I don't want to watch the charts. It's like, well, you still got to go find the news, find out how the market's going to work, do other things, check the order book, liquidation. There's a whole bunch of stuff to make it interesting. And once you're in it and you learn, it becomes more and more interesting.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of those people,
when you start branching out into everything else. So
a lot of those people don't want to solve their problems. That's why they want to just complain. That's it.
They want it solved for them without them having to do it, right? They just want their hand held, walked over the puddle, or you know, walk through the water.
And that's exactly what they're hoping.
I'll carry you. Don't worry about it.
The crazy thing is, it's like when you were a kid, your parents told you not to talk to strangers, right? So it's like, if somebody at the park, when your parents aren't looking, offers you candy and tries to hold your hand and walk you into their van, what do you say? Fuck no. No, get the fuck away from me. But now, people are like, oh, what? Free candy? Oh, fuck yeah, I'll take some free candy. Hell yeah. Man, oh, look at this.
I better Instagram this. Hey, look, there's free candy at this truck.
Nice tinted windows in this thing, bro. Sick. And they just hop right in. It's like, what?
I know.
What? How do you not understand that all these people that say they've got free candy for you are literally trying to hurt you in multiple different ways? And not only that, take the value away from you, take your value, take your family's value away from you. It's like, man, we're talking about common sense here back in the day. Don't talk to strangers. Don't take candy from strangers. You know?
Don't believe everything on the internet.
It's crazy, man. And now people just have none of that. Like, what happened? What happened? No, did people stop telling their kids to not talk to strangers and not take candy from strangers? Like, I don't get it. How did we get here?
Man. Something went wrong in the world. Like you said, probably that like super CERN collider way down in Texas fucking just smacked a whole bunch of common sense out of the world. Like it doesn't exist anymore. And I know, because growing up it did. You could see it and you're like, you know, I can't wait to grow up and, you know, kind of be a part of this. But I mean, you've seen where we live and how much it's changed. And it's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I've already left and come back. You know, I'm ready to go again.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine like when you did leave for the first time, and then I can't imagine when you came back how different it looked.
Oh, it was nuts, because I left 2018 and came back like just end of December 2021. So 2022, I was gone for those 4 years.
Yeah.
Holy, yeah, because I wasn't here. like all of Belmont, I think, was built up. And then you had like Royal Bay, you know, the old gravel pits where we used to piss around and do stupid things is now
ripped dirt bikes.
a
Now it's just a
community.
sea of houses, sea of roofs. That's all you can see down there now. Just a
a
valley of sweaty, hot wind tunnels that are like, oh man, it's just so brutal. So brutal.
No, I don't like what they're doing here. To be honest, they're just trying to pack everybody in tighter and tighter, and it's not working.
No, I mean, it's like what people have to understand is like it's happened before. Like I've said it over and over again, but it's happened before. It's still happening in other parts of the world. Everybody's in a different stage. Like for instance, if you look at places like Brazil, people live like with houses on top of other houses, and they just build metal shacks and they just attach them to the corner of the other one. And like, it can get a lot worse than where we are right now. Like it can and will get a lot worse. It's nothing happens overnight. Unfortunately, we saw that during 2020 and 2021, things can happen very quickly when they decide to double the money supply. But ultimately, all these places have suffered the same consequences because of the same actions, and it has to do with the money, the devaluing of their currency. And we see all these things happen in all these different countries, but nobody thinks it's going to happen to them, even though you're starting to see the warning signs. You're right in front of your face.
Yeah, your countries are literally following the same playbook. It's just at a different time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of the countries that are following the same playbook even right now at the same time, with Canada and New Zealand and Australia and the EU. Like there's a lot of the literally the exact same script.
Yeah, it's all designed to do it too, right? This is all planned to. But again, that's get your currency out. I mean, hell, we live in BC, man. Every BC person should remember when the Chinese were coming here and buying everything and all our real estate. And it was like, well, why are they doing it? Well, they want to get their money out of China, because if they don't, it's going to be gone.
Well, did you see the Chinese real estate hit this morning?
No.
They officially wiped out 20 years of growth this morning.
What?
Chinese real estate's dumped. Well, I mean, we had the Evergreen or whatever it was collapse a couple of years ago, so we knew it was coming. But yeah, the Chinese housing market has officially wiped out 20 years of growth as of this morning.
Yeah,
so it's like,
I mean, like that right there, right? Like they all saw what was going on in their country and was like, oh well, shit, we better get our assets out of here and into another country, even though they didn't live here. No, right? They were still buying where it was safe.
But they went through it and they understood that, oh, this is how it works. Really? Okay, well, let's find another country that's a few hundred years or a few tens of years behind us, so that we can, you know, unfortunately, because
when it goes up, we'll sell everything.
Exactly. I can imagine that somebody came in and did it to them, so they're going to go in and do it to somebody else. And if you don't pay attention, and that's the thing too, it's like the narrative is undoubtable. There's a narrative, but it's only going to work if people entertain it and pay attention to it. Like if you decentralize yourself from the bullshit, you won't have that outcome with your life. That's not the road you'll go down. The only people that are going to suffer for those consequences are the people that are giving them their attention, giving them their time, right? Like, your time is the most valuable asset you have while you're here. Money is just made up. Money is fake, right? Like nothing, it's not real. Energy is real. Like
well, hell, actually, I got a good one for you here. So this explains money perfectly. You remember this? We got the $2 bill.
Nice.
I can't even legally use this anymore.
Yeah.
Right? I would get like it's.
Yeah.
So this, it means nothing. Also, you can see this is a bill, and this is a toonie?
Yeah.
That's how devalued $2 has become, that it used to require this to denominate it, and we went to that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so that explains devaluing currency.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nothing's better than that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It went from being in your wallet to probably being on the ground, maybe in your pocket. Like it's just chump change is what they call it, right? chump
Yeah.
change.
Right.
Now, my money doesn't jingle jingle, it folds. Well, guess
Yeah,
what?
and
They'll do something
then
about
they
that.
took the penny away.
Yeah, they'll do
Because
something about that.
Because now the penny costs more than it does than what it denominates.
And that's exactly why they got rid of the pennies. Oh yeah, give us all your pennies, because they
Yeah,
made
300%. They melted it all and took it all.
They made 300% on that. Each penny was worth at least 3 cents. Some of them are worth a lot more. So they made 300% on taking pennies away. Right, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's good for the economy. It's good for everybody."
Yeah, we're just gonna round everything up now to you guys. I know they round some things down, but at the end of the day,
well, only 1 and 2 get rounded
took a
down.
ton of money out
3,
of your
4
pocket and
get
pennies.
rounded up. I don't know. It's 3, 4. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man. It's pretty obvious if you're paying attention, but that's the unfortunate thing is most people are either choose not to pay attention, which is the worst thing you can do, or are fully actually distracted by, I don't know, something else, and put their energy into other things that most of the time they don't get any return off of. I tell that to my kids a lot, like, make sure whatever you're doing, you at least get ROI, return on investment, is because, and that has more to do with just money, like even just like I was just saying, time is your greatest asset. So you have to understand that investing your time into something, you need to at least get ROI, right? Make sure that somebody's not using you, whatever. Like, you just have to, if you're having fun, then that's good. You're having fun. That's a return on your investment, but if it's like, okay, having fun for a few years hasn't really got me anywhere. Maybe at some point I should be like, okay, am I okay with this ROI? Is this still making sense? You know what I mean? Because as you get older, that's kind of what you start to realize is there's things in the beginning when you're younger, going out and drinking with your friends, spent a lot of money. Yeah, but it was a great time. I had a great ROI. But as you get older, you're like, you know what? That whatever we did there, I just spent a bunch of money and I don't remember anything. And it's like, at some point, the ROI stops becoming worth it. And it's not that it stopped becoming worth it. It's you actually realized and stopped justifying it yourself. You stopped lying to yourself and saying, because like alcohol is poison. I drink some. I had quite a few beers this last couple weeks, but like I don't get blackout drunk and then fall on my face. I casually drink alcohol, and as well as eat food and drink a lot more water than anything, and I just use it more of as a socializing thing. Hey, can I buy you a drink or whatever, right? And then that's when you get to talking to somebody and you get to learning things, and it's not about getting wasted, it's about talking and socializing, right? So I'm not doing shots, I'm not doing shit like that. It's like, I'll have a beer with this guy and we'll chat about life, and then I'll learn some shit from him, right? And that, it's like, I talked to so many interesting characters, and most of them were over beers this whole time, right? And it's like,
well, they always will be
most of the time. I mean, it doesn't always have to be, but it's just kind of like it's not, for me, it's not hard. I have no problem being out in an environment with a bunch of drunk people and being social, but a lot of people have a hard time going out and being social without having a drink. And that's kind of what limits some of those people to being able to move on, is because they feel like, oh, well, if I'm out here, I have to have a drink, or if I'm doing this, I got to drink while I'm doing it. It's like, you don't like try. I mean, maybe the first couple times is going to be different. It's going to be weird, but you got to be able to find and adjust and figure out like how you can not, do what's killing you or what's burning you or what's whatever, but still understand or figure out how to get the positives, right? Get rid of as many losing trades as you can and maximize on the winning trades. Still trading.
Like I take losses. I've closed out 50% of my one that snuck away from me there right now, and if it goes back down, well, I'll get a better entry, or I'll add to it and make it back. Like, whatever. It's not a
you don't stress on it.
I'm not worried about it because I'm not playing with more than I'm willing to lose.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's the other part, right? I'm not getting emotional about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also still learning. Always.
Yes.
Right? That's
always
the big
learning.
thing.
That's the thing. Always talk to people, always learn. Everybody's, as much as everybody may piss you off at times, everybody's always got something to teach you. There's always going to be some better way, some new way, a different way. There's always something to take from somebody.
Absolutely. I always tell my kids, I'm like, don't shy away from any type of stuff like that. Like, of course, you don't take candy from a stranger and
No,
don't go in their van, but
yeah, right.
like always take an opportunity, because you're gonna learn from it. Whether you learn that you're never gonna do that again, or you learn something that could change your life, you're gonna learn something, and make sure you do learn that something, right? There's nothing.
And it goes both ways about kind of talking, right? Like, it goes both ways with it. Well, never screw around with somebody who you don't know, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you never know who you're talking to. So take that opportunity to at least talk to them, because, you know, I mean, hell, I've seen it on YouTube. That guy that goes around and interviews all of the wealthy people in the world.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's all he does. He's like, hey, your ability, like, what did you do? What's your advice? I mean, that right there took him what, a few minutes, seconds, a minute of this guy's time, and look at the information they're getting.
Yeah, there's
insane.
A lot of people out there that are like, have in the past paid Warren Buffett for a dinner or lunch or something, and Warren Buffett, I think, charges like $10,000 if you want to have a lunch with him or something. But it's like, you know how many people have willingly paid that $10,000 and then sat there and had lunch with him for an hour and a half or 2 hours and then completely changed their life? Like, the best investment they ever made. That's a big one. $10,000 for lots of people, that's a lot of money. But you're talking to somebody, the best investor in the history of investing. And, you know, you're gonna learn, you're gonna be able to make that money back, right? It's not a loss.
And honestly, 10 grand for, you know, an hour or 2 hours of this guy's time is nothing compared to what he's actually producing in his assets, right? I mean, that's what you're thinking of, right? That's why he probably charges that, is because it's like, well, you're going to be making much more than that after a lunch with me.
Yeah.
Right? Your life is going to change.
New understanding, right? And there's a lot of people out there. I mean, like, I don't know, if you think you have to do that, then you can go and do it. But there, you know, nowadays with the information on the internet, you can get it all for free, man. You don't. I got
Warren Buffett AI. You know?
Well, that's just it, right? There's Warren Buffett AI. There's Warren Buffett indicators everywhere. What's he doing? There's people that have been watching him for tens of years now, and they're charting his actions. And Warren Buffett's holding more cash right now than he has ever before. And the markets themselves are, especially the traditional markets, are highly overvalued right now. They're all built. They're all propped up on speculation of data centers in space and all this like stuff that's going to happen eventually, but it's not a straight line up. And when you see what we have been seeing lately, where the traditional markets are going straight line up, that's when you see red flag type burning of the, like we said before, they soak the towel and then they wring it out. Let's actually look and see what's the Dow, what's the S&P. S&P's at 75, so 1 hour still just kind of going sideways. Let's go to the daily here. Yeah, so that's that's actually looking like a consolidation right there. Huh. Well, this is gonna be worth looking at here. Actually, this is gonna be well worth paying attention to, because if
you thinking that's gonna short.
Well, what we have here, clear as day, is honestly this trend is actually continuing up. So we have
I think that's gonna I think they're gonna push. I think they're gonna keep pushing. Right, Bitcoin's gonna go down. That's gonna kind of go up a little more.
We have,
or at least stay sideways.
Basically, this kind of trend here is really just continuing, because we had this trend line back here from the resistance on the last high that we had. Now drop down, comes back up to resistance, breaks above it, and now we kind of have a little thing going here. So it looks like it's consolidating, and we're going to wait to see where this breaks, because that's going to be a big teller of what's about to happen in the traditional markets. Potentially hitting resistance right now, could come back down. It's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter until we realize whether the bulls or the bears are going to win. And when it comes to the point where they are running out of buyers, eventually the big wigs will start pulling all their money out, because all they do in a situation like this is just the big guys, first of all, liquidating positions and buying it back, buybacks, and then pushing the market up quickly to get people sucked in again, to incentivize more people to buy. And so usually we have a high, a low, a high, a low, and then it starts to get, the next high is, like we've looked at this with Bitcoin many times, is where as the bull cycle carries on, each breakout and each high gets less and less strength. And so that's how you get your divergences. Whereas the price made a higher high, but the strength is making lower highs. So that's your divergence. And so right now on the daily, I mean, we don't really have any divergence in strength. So, you know, there still could be more to go. But what we're expecting is more of a bottom for Bitcoin in October. So it would make more sense if the traditional markets continue to go up or sideways for a little bit longer before we see capital rotate into Bitcoin. And where's that money going to come from? Obviously, it's going to come from traditional stocks because they print money, they put it into the stock market to keep the American dream going. And then when people are happy with what they've had, they'll take it out and put it into a sound asset, because a lot of these businesses are sound businesses, but they're just not, they're overvalued. The stock to flow ratio is nowhere near where it should be. So there's just too much speculation. Too many people think are making promises that they just simply can't keep. And for instance, one of them is with, we just heard yesterday that the Optimus robots that Elon is trying to build have been completely hit a standstill because their actuators that are like their shoulder joints, their elbow joints, their wrist joints, and their hand joints, they've run out of the one of the elements that they need to make these actuators. And so you have, I don't know what, 16 actuators or something like that per robot, and all of a sudden they're out of actuators. So it's like, okay, the assembly line is hit a standstill because they've run out of one certain part that they need. So this is just a perfect sign of too much too quickly, right? So he was promising that there was going to be more humanoid robots than humans by 2050 or whatever. I don't know the promises. I don't pay attention to it, but I know that he's talking more than it's going to happen. And it's like when you pay attention to like math and stuff like that, and the actual numbers about how much, you know, certain elements we have and how much it takes, and you know, you do a little bit of work, you can tell
where are you getting these materials?
Exactly, right? Like you can tell that it's not sustainable. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to take multiple cycles for us to, no, damn it, it didn't work. Let's try again. Oh, damn it, didn't work. But like, you know, we're obviously progressing in certain ways, but like it doesn't
the way we should be progressing is a gradual climb, though, right?
Yeah.
Like these people who are just gung-ho and just, it needs to all be done. No, you need to build this over generations, right? Like that was the whole point of a family. A family, you know, you'd pass things down generation after generation after that's died out, you know, and that's what we need to do is give something to the next generation to continue on. Not we need to do this right now, let's completely strip everything and try to build it and then run out and hit a snag and watch everything collapse.
Exactly right. And that's the thing, is they just get over leveraged. And we know what happens when you get over leveraged, right? That you get humbled pretty quickly. And so right now, I get it. They're printing money like no other. So the markets continue to go up because it's not only the value of the stock, but it's also just the value determined in dollars because the dollar is going down. So, but actually, let's take a quick look at the Dixie because I haven't actually paid too much attention to the Dixie lately, and I should be paying more attention to it. How does it look? Ooh, money's flowing into the Dixie big time, which is not good for Bitcoin and not good for any other asset that's valued in the U.S. currency. That's why probably the Canadian dollar's taking such a hit right now. But this is like, wow, this looks like a U.S. dollar's about to break out here, boys. Look at this. Look at this bottom. Look at that. Look at that curvature on the US dollar here. And then not only big red, little green, little red, little green, little red, big green, didn't even touch the red, and then still making higher highs in the money flow. So this is not over for the US dollar. Wow.
Oh, no.
Wow.
No. We still got summer to go through here, right? You know, I know it's already July 6th. Is that right? Sure.
Yeah. July 6th, 7-6 today. 7.6 or 6.7 depending on how you write it. But that looks like the US dollar maybe comes back down to here and then carries on. That's the US dollar is now officially in an uptrend. We broke the downtrend. We went sideways. Now we're officially breaking the sideways range, and now we are starting to make an uptrend. So as long as we maintain this trend, that's bad for Bitcoin. It's bad for the stock market. That's great for people that have American dollars. It's great for people that are holding cash, but ultimately we know that never lasts. This does look good though. This looks really good for US dollar. So the other thing too is it has to do with the bonds, because as the yield on the bonds goes up, it incentivizes more people to put their money into bonds. So we've watched the 10-year, we've watched the 5-year, we've watched the 30-year start to make highs that they haven't had in years. And so when those yields go higher, then people are going to put their money into the US dollar to get those bonds, to get that return, because people that have a lot of money very rarely want to keep it in cash because they're going to lose value. So they put it into whatever they can so that they can get interest off it or get some sort of return on their investment, ROI, right? So yeah, holy moly, we've been going for an hour 45 here. Wow, time flies by.
Oh, fuck,
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I gotta go eat.
Yeah, I gotta go eat too. So yeah, they didn't even have any corn when I went to go get any corn. No corn. It's crazy,
Unbelievable.
man. Going in the grocery store these days and they're running out of things at the grocery store. Better learn how to farm, folks. Better learn how to farm. But yeah, ultimately, like, there you go. There's more like factual chart looking information that it looks like the US dollar is strengthening, which in turn will make Bitcoin and any other asset that it is denominated in go down. So we're still expecting sideways to lower prices for Bitcoin, but ultimately it's a finite asset that won't stay down forever. The battle is still on, but it's $1 million
Bitcoin. Here we go.
The battle is not over yet, but it will be. It will be. Eventually, Bitcoin's going to take everything. Bitcoin is the black hole, and it's sucking every monetary bit of value.
The orange hole.
Yeah, that exists, because that's just what happens when you have a hard asset and you compare it to a weak asset. Folks, so do your own research. Subscribe. Smash the like button. Let us know what you think, and drop a question in the chat next time, and we'll be happy to try and help you as much as we can. This is just what we're here to do, is just to try and help people navigate through the madness that is happening in the Keynesian economic situation that we are living through right now. And it's not as hard as most people think. It's happened before and it's going to happen again. All you need to really do is understand how you need to position yourself so that you and your family and your ancestor, or your what's the word I'm looking for, grandchildren and their descendants are protected. All right, folks. So that being said, peace out, brother. Talk to you soon.
Yeah. See you later.
Have a good Monday evening, and yeah, we'll be back at it next Sunday. I'm back from vacation, so we're gonna be back to regular programming here. We'll see you next week, next Sunday for sure. Then. Faux show. Actually, no, you won't. Actually, I'm going away again. I just remembered I'm going away again, but we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll do Monday next week, because I'm gonna be gone next weekend. But yeah, folks, you got to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I try to maintain like a bit of a schedule, but in the summertime it's just madness. So
yeah,
you're gonna wanna. Oh yeah, that's my wife texting me. How much longer?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, that's it. All right, go, folks. Peace out. Have a good one.
See you later.
Do your own research. Peace. I recommend putting your opinions aside and learning how to think logically